What's up, everybody? This is Gore Report checking in for 4 minutes or less, where we talk about financial markets news, economic news from last week, and what's going on for the forthcoming week. So let's get to it. So for earnings last week, we have a story of the good and the bad. So let's start with the good. The good was McDonald's. McDonald's had a really good quarter, fourth quarter. They crushed earnings. Revenue was up 10%. What was that attributed to? Well, McDonald's got a chance to adjust to what's going on in the economy. So what they did was they had a value strategy working where they had $5 and $8 meal bundles for customers. And so this really resonated with the clientele that's making less than $45,000 a year. That's why the company did so well in the fourth quarter. What McDonald's is able to do is McDonald's is able to adjust to what's going on in the environment, and they can provide low-cost food to their customers. Now, you want to know how McDonald's is doing really well? McDonald's said during the call that they're going to open 2,600 new locations in 2026. With all these companies that are pulling back on employees, closing stores, McDonald's is expanding. That tells you what you need to know. Now, on to the bad. Ford Motors disappointed on Q4 earnings. And what was this attributed to? They're pulling back on their EV mission, the electric vehicle mission. So most losses during the quarter was attributed to a $19 billion special charge for an EV pullback. So what Ford wants to do, they want to pull back on the electric vehicle market, and what they want to do is they want to invest in their hybrid fleet. And so that goes to show, with gas prices going down, there's less of a demand for electric vehicles. So we'll have to see how Ford progresses as they go into 2026. Now, on the economics front, we had big news with CPI. CPI came in cooler than expectations at 2.4%. The expectation was 2.5%. And December CPI came in at 2.7%. So why is this significant? This is significant because now, with CPI coming in cooler than expected, now rate cuts are back on the table. So what we've seen a decline in inflation, and this is well needed to get relief for borrowers, whether it's your credit card, your auto loan. This is what's needed. And so this was a pleasant surprise. People who know me know I track Trueflation, and right now Trueflation is still trending lower. So it's going to be interesting to see if we get inflation down to 2%. It seemed impossible about a month ago, but now we're at 2.4%. So let's see what happens. Now, moving on to the week ahead. Wednesday, we're going to have a big economic day. Pretty much FOMC minutes are coming out, in which we will talk about the notes from the previous Fed meeting. And so it'll be interesting to hear what they have to say in realization of what we know about the inflation reading that we got last week with CPI. So that's something to take into account. On Friday, we have a big economics day where we'll have PCE, which is the preferred measure for inflation for the Fed. That will be dropped on Friday morning. And also consumer sentiment, which will be also coming out on Friday. Now, the consumer sentiment will be really interesting because we just got the CPI number. So CPI came in cooler than expected. So now it'll be interesting to see what the survey says, because CPI looks at a survey from consumers and it gauges their expectations for inflation. On Friday, we also get Q4 GDP. Now, this reading was delayed due to the government shutdown in November. So we're going to get Q4 GDP on Friday. We're going to get PCE on Friday as well, and we're going to get consumer sentiment. So on the earnings front, the main key earnings report we're going to get this coming week is Walmart. Let me tell you why Walmart's really important. Well, Walmart is important because it's very similar to McDonald's, in which it gauges the consumer. What Walmart has been able to do, Walmart has been able to really take forth on the online e-commerce space. And so they've been able to adjust with transforming their company and modernizing their company. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens on Thursday and what their results will be. So that's Gore Report checking out. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a productive work week.